Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. We are trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. You see it right here on the screen. 3,000 subs by May. We're at somewhere in the 2,500s. So we need you, the people who listen every day, the people who rock with me, who read my articles on Giants Country, who read my articles on The Athletic, who see what I do with Football Game Plan, who just follow me just to see what I'm going to get into next. We need you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it ahead of time. Also, while you're doing that, if you're inclined and you chill in those Facebook places, make sure that you follow the channel on Facebook. Again, these are just more ways to support that don't cost you anything. And when the day comes when I'm like, hey, buy this merch or, purchase this book, I'm going to really appreciate it. But I'm going to appreciate more the ones who are right here subscribing and following the pages where it costs them nothing, because that's really where we're able to see these things grow. The more people who are subscribed, the more people that are following, the more that we are able to do with the channel. So I appreciate it ahead of time. I love what you guys do when you're paying attention to the things that I've got going on, and just know that anything that I do is for the love of sports, is for the love of culture, and never anything else. I was wondering why we don't see more academics boosted up. Why we don't see more people who sit back and go, hey, I'm going to go the academic route. When you really think about it, like focusing in on academics, and it's not actually that hard. I teach high school, so I know these things. To be a high academic student, especially today, is just not that difficult. It takes effort, obviously, yes. It takes dedication, obviously, yes. But no more dedication or effort than it takes to be a good football player or a good basketball player. And quiet as it's kept, you don't have to have the level of skill, the level of natural ability. You can just be a grinder academically and be good and be boosted up. See, I was having this good conversation with a friend of mine yesterday who has to start making some legitimate decisions for his kids, because his kids are smart. So smart that their level of education has far surpassed their age, to the point where academics and athletics can't continue to grow at the same speed, because his kids are so smart that they are leaving grades behind. And because of that, they're just going to be too young to participate in a lot of the athletics, or at least to maybe not participate, but to be good enough to participate, because they're not linemen, I think about this in terms of like a Bomani Jones, who I know has talked about how, because he was a little bit younger going through high school, his body never developed fast enough to compete, and how that must feel. Like I consider myself to be a smart individual. I was smart in high school, but I wasn't dedicated, like 100% dedicated to academics like that. So I never had, and I was in an unstable home, so that's that's neither here nor there. But when there were opportunities for me to jump grades, I never took them. Even though like I could have legitimately done it. I'm not here to toot my own horn. I'm making a point. So academically, I never had to deal with the you're going to be younger going up against older. Now, I was a pretty young senior. I was 17 almost my entire senior year. But as it pertains to being like still 17 when I'm entering my freshman year of college, I didn't have to deal with that. So that's an interesting situation to be in. And it's almost like when you make that decision, in a way, you're taking away the opportunity for your kids, or you may be taking away the opportunity for your kids to get shine. And why? Because it's hard to consistently post about academics on the gram. And everything that we do, and it's not a diss to the young folks, by the way, but everything that we do, if you've come up in this social media world, is done so that other people can see it. It's almost as if it doesn't happen if nobody sees it. For instance, hey, I've been working out every day. Really? Who saw you? Oh, you can see my highlight. I mean, you can see it on the gram. I post every day. Okay, that's what's up. Yo, I dropped 30 last night. Word? Who saw it? Oh, well, nobody recorded it. Oh, well, okay. Should put it on the gram. That's the type of climate that we live in now. We live in the climate that if it's not on the gram, if we're not doing it for the gram, then essentially we're not doing it. I remember, and it's crazy because years ago, I was dating my longtime girlfriend at the time, and we were over. I believe we were over at my best friend's house, and we were all sitting back, hanging out by the pool, drinking, and we were talking about something, and one of the women in one of the other couples that was there, was saying, "Oh, well, it's not official until you put it on Facebook." See, this is right before the time that Twitter and Instagram had become really like hot, because Instagram at the time was only pictures and Twitter at the time was only words, and Facebook at that time was words and pictures. And so Facebook still held the place in the young world. I mean, I had a Twitter account. I was one of the first people on Twitter. I was one of the first people on Instagram. That's why you find me at Gene Clemens. And the interaction on Instagram and Twitter was not that heavy. All of the interaction was on Facebook. So it used to be Facebook famous. And now you can be Twitter famous and Instagram famous and TikTok famous and so on and so forth. And so I remember her saying that, oh, well, it's not official, until it's on Facebook. Like, because my Facebook profile didn't say in a relationship with, then somehow it wasn't real. Well, the several years that I spent with this woman was definitely real. But was it? Right? Because in the eyes of the world, if there's no proof of it being thrown out there, then it doesn't exist. And that's what our children deal with from the moment that they were born. If there's no obligatory birth picture, Was the baby ever born? Hey, you have a son. I didn't know that. Well, no, because I never posted any of my son's pictures on social media. That was a choice I made. Not because I was ashamed or I didn't want to, but because I just felt like there were certain things that the kid should have control over as he grew up. If he wants to be out in the public, then he will put himself out in the public. There's no reason for me to put him out in the public. Now that's unheard of. You're not going to post the pictures that you took with your family. That would be unheard of. See, I'm just talking to you about the way in which the world works now. The way in which the society has deemed everything that needs to be, right? Everything that needs to be is predicated on, is this on social media or is this not? I always hate when my lights just pop off right in the middle of me talking and I end up in the dark, but luckily I have my handy dandy ring right here. When we talk about impact on society, impact is felt when eyes are on it. So if there are no eyes on it, then is it really an impact? Right? That's what we deal with every day now. That's what we have to worry about every day now. It's nonstop. It's unrelenting. It's nonstop. It's unrelenting. Every day, somebody is posting something on social media in order to be validated. I see players who post workouts that are not impressive workouts on social media. Why? Just so that they can show that they're working out. I see guys post visits to colleges as if the college is interested in them, when in reality, they just went to the college and the college was like, well, if you're here, we'll show you around. We'll let you try a jersey on. And they post that. Why? Because there's validation in it. But when it comes to academics, outside of posting your report card, what do you post on a regular basis? A picture of you reading a book, a picture of you doing a math problem, a picture of you working on a science experiment. Like, how do you gain that validation? How do you gain that notoriety through academics? How do we make academics sexier so that people want to do that instead of just be athletes? Because the money out there for academics, nowhere, like it's the athletic money is nowhere near the academic money. Because the athletic money only happens in one department in a college. The academic money happens in every department. You can get academic money to go and be a singer in college. Math, science, English, social studies, psychology, so on and so forth. All of those different areas, all of those different colleges within a university, they all have an ability to scholarship academic students. And that scholarship money is just as good as the athletic money. And you don't have to spend 5 hours out of your day surrounded by a sport. You don't have to do 5 a.m. workouts, 6 a.m. workouts. You don't have to go to study sessions or film sessions before and after your practice. You don't have curfews, right? You don't have summer workouts. All that academic money continues to come to you as long as you continue to be who you were your entire life. But it's not sexy because you can't post about it on the gram. You want to know the one thing I get annoyed with in the academic world? I get annoyed when people post all of the colleges that they received the scholarship from, and it's like 20, 30 colleges. You know why? Because one, I go, why would you apply to 20, 30 colleges? Because you're not going to be able to go to all of them. Yeah, it's cool. You got over $1 million worth of scholarships, but you don't have $1 million in scholarships because you can only take one of those schools. Now, if you have $1 million worth of scholarships because you went out and got scholarships from private entities that all tallied up to $1 million, post that. That's a stunt. That's a flex, right? If you were able to pull in scholarships from all, and by the way, you should do this, all of these small, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 scholarships here and there and there and there, and you get 100 of them. That's a lot of money. You're never going to have to pay for college. It's a beautiful thing. That's the flex. Posting 20 different schools that you got into that gave you money. It's like, yeah, okay, you got a full scholarship from this school and a full scholarship from that school. That just means you got a full scholarship. Cool. I love it. But don't hit me with the okie doke because you're doing it for the gram. That's the academics' only way to show, oh, I'm stunting. Oh, I'm doing something great. I know it's fun to watch the athletes post the blessed to receive. It's fun to watch the athletes like post their pictures and their videos in their uniforms. It's fun to watch the athletes put their highlights up, and you're an academic, so there are no highlights for you. But at the end of the day, if the goal is free education, I'm just happy you're winning. That's all that matters to me. So post that picture of you reading the book. Post that picture of you doing the math problem. Post that picture of you doing the science experiment. Let people understand. Let people know that you out here for real doing that academic thing. I'm going to love it, I promise. And there's so many more people out there that's going to love it as well. Because you don't need your validation through us. And you never know who you might inspire when you do it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure that you like. Make sure you subscribe. Again, you see down here, the goal is 3,000. We're trying to roll to 3,000. We go to 3,000. I'm gonna drop this Talk Spicy merch. So once we get to 3,000 subs, I'm gonna drop the Talk Spicy merch. I'm gonna look for y'all to support. Until next time, y'all. Peace.